Josh, welcome to Inbound. Hope you're having a great time here. How's it been?
It's been fantastic.
Uh-huh.
It's so funny coming back. I used to be on the agency side
No
of things.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been to an Inbound before and done
Couple
the
of
whole
them.
thing. Okay.
Only obviously in Boston. And so
Right,
having
right.
it in San Francisco is a really cool experience.
Yeah. So you're obviously here for the next big AI idea competition. Can you tell me a little bit about your upcoming pitch and also just about Vector in general?
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. So obviously, a handful of us got selected as finalists to go pitch in this, which is just really exciting for us as a company to be able to have such a massive platform to talk about what we're building. And
Yeah.
so, I'm excited even to have a couple minutes to tell folks, what Vector is up to, which, for us, we're in the ad tech space. So we're helping marketers do content level advertising and
Cool.
save a bunch of money on their ad spend.
Yeah. So when coming up with that idea, what space in the market did you see that you were like, why isn't there something to occupy this, and how does Vector occupy that for you think?
Yeah, so the last year or two have just been insane for marketers,
Yeah.
right? Like you see AI and how it's cannibalized both, some inbound, some outbound, right? Zero-click SEO, just all this stuff disrupting things. And the thing that I saw that was really interesting was marketers were trying to figure out what is that next channel? Is it automation? Is it AI SDRs? What is it? And the thing I kept coming back to is in my agency days, right? HubSpot was one of the first ones talking about persona-based, contact level, make it personalized, make it relevant. In every channel that has come to fruition, right? We have relevant, personalized outbound. We write blogs that's persona-based.
Yeah.
But advertising just didn't feel like we had cracked that yet. You go on YouTube and the first ad you get, you're like, skip, right? This isn't relevant to me.
Of course.
How much money is spent for people just to hit skip? And so
Right.
it felt like there was a massive opportunity to save some of that money.
Right. You bring up an interesting point with ad relevancy, because it's hard to, even when you make an ad relevant for somebody, they
Yeah.
could still very well just skip ad and
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah.
How do you think we could move towards marketing that actually meets people where they are and catches their attention enough to where they're like, oh yeah, I like this is a fun ad, I'll watch it?
It's a good question. In my mind, there's two pieces to it, which is before you even get to relevancy of message, it's is it even the right person? And the problem with most ad providers is the targeting is just really horrible, right? I can't say I want an ad to go to John, right? I have to say I want it to go to marketers in companies of this size, right? And you end up just wasting a ton of ad spend. So being able to do contact level targeting is the first piece of that. And then to your point, once I've got the right person, it's well, how do I make sure the thing I'm serving you is actually relevant? And that's the second component, which brings in sort of signal based, right? We wouldn't send an outbound that's hey, would you buy my product, right? It's hey, congrats on your promotion, or I saw this thing and I thought this would be relevant for you. If you can bring in signals into advertising, you can almost have that outbound touch in ads.
And you mentioned contact level marketing.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me a little further and how you want to get more into that?
Yeah. So the premise of ABM or account-based marketing, everyone knows about, right? The problem that most marketers have is they've been sold this pitch of ABM and focus on the right accounts, but typically when you hand that off to sales, there's this resistance of great, you told me which company was on our website. You told me some company saw our ads. And it's what do I do with that?
Right.
We love sales reps, but they can be lazy. And so you have to be very specific. And so we think this new evolution is everything should be at the individual level. The problem is figuring out how to scale that, right?
Sure.
Account level one-to-one is hard. Contact level one-to-one is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to solve.
And what role do you think that CRM data can play in that personalization and speaking more to those people and having that data to show for it?
It's massive. HubSpot is our number one integration because CRM is the source of truth, right? I think that's the thing that HubSpot has such a leg up on folks, which is, there's all these different data tools, but HubSpot is always the single source of truth and record for folks. And so, if you want to do contact level ads or personalization, right, you need everything that's in the CRM about what's their journey been this far and what our signals do we have. And so it is the foundation. We've built our product around HubSpot.
When you talk about that kind of precise targeting that you really want to get into the face of this specific person or this specific kind of person, How do you balance that with some privacy concerns? Obviously, that's a big thing because when you really direct your marketing at a single type of person, you really kind of breach some privacy potentially.
Yeah, you have to be super conscious of this, right? And so, we've worked with pretty large enterprise customers, and so security and privacy has always been at the forefront.
Sure. I really liked your history as an agency person.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that and how it's kind of influenced your outlook on marketing, especially like as you're in the tech world. I feel like that's kind of an interesting bridge.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool journey that a lot of people, if they can go on, they should. So like I started like classic agency, HubSpot partner. I was on the RevOps side. Like honestly, I think it was before we called it RevOps. It was like I stood up HubSpot in CRM instances for folks. And what was great about that is like you get to see just all different shapes and sizes and colors of CRM implementation. And then because of that, I was so fascinated and I learned so much as a HubSpot partner that I wanted to get in the tech side. And so I applied for a bunch of companies in Boston. HubSpot was one of them. And I ended up actually getting picked up by a company called Drift, which is a MarTech company that was in the chatbot space. And I loved that. And I transitioned to the sales engineering space. And so after being in the agency and then after being on the tech side, I was like, I'd love to build in this category, right? It's just such a fun thing to do. And so I feel like HubSpot and agency life kind of like set me up to like understand the market really well.
Yeah, totally. I feel like, a lot of marketers don't really approach it from that lens, especially kind of in the tech world. I feel like everybody's coming from an engineering background or somebody's coming from like being a startup founder and whatnot. And I feel like the good marketing advice and good marketing knowledge goes a long way in this business.
Yeah.
Here's what blows my mind. Most people are sitting around waiting for their boss to give them a raise, while millionaires are building income streams in their spare time. Entrepreneur and creator Marina Magilko cracked the code on this. She built more than 10 income streams that now pull in over $100,000 a month. She shared the secret sauce with our team, so now we're sharing it with you, exactly how she did it. This guide gives you practical step-by-step strategies you can actually implement. So just pick just one income stream from her guide and watch what happens. Stop what you're doing right now and grab it in the show notes 6 months from now, and you'll be glad you did.
I think that it's hard for people to think they're qualified to take that leap, but we've been on the tech side, right? People that work in the agency space, people that have implemented, they're fantastic fits in B2B SaaS or just SaaS in general.
Sure. What's like the biggest piece of advice that you would give about marketing nowadays?
What we're seeing across our customers is like there's so much change happening so quickly, and I think the biggest concern that most people have is like what do I do with my hands, right? There's so much going on that like where do I start and what do I pay attention to? And I do think it's important to keep up with what's changing, but I think at the end of the day, things are changing so quickly that you can't do everything. And so our best advice to our customers is like experiment with one or two things that you're excited about, right? If you're excited about AI, like go try Breeze, right? Like you don't have to figure out Breeze and ChatGPT and GEO and all of this at one time. Like just go do one thing. If you're excited about signals, go start with one signal, a job changer signal, and figure out outbound for that. So just start small, experiment, and sort of like learn your way from there versus getting overwhelmed about everything.
Yeah. And looking to the future, what do you think contact-based marketing looks like 5 years from now, even 3 years from now? Because obviously there's been a lot of strides made, and we're kind of living in a very unprecedented period right now. So where do you think that's going to go? Do you think it's going to get even more customized, and how could it even possibly do that?
I think it will. I think there's this crazy stuff happening in just the entire MarTech, ad tech, privacy space. And going back to your privacy question, this is what's so interesting is like people definitely care about their privacy, and there's a lot of regulations to care about. But if you also look at the world, we care more about removing friction, right? Like we care about like seamless experiences, like almost to the point where if I get served a ad on like Hulu or Netflix that's like not personalized to me, I'm just like, you have so much data on me and you don't know what to serve me.
Easily serve me a Monster Trucks ad.
Exactly, right? Like you know what to serve me. And so like I think we'll move into this world where, as people love to scroll and people have shorter attention spans, like they'll want things to be more personalized and more relevant. Sure. I could even see a world like this is super crazy, and Invector isn't going to be part of this particular journey, but I think of like walking around San Francisco, there's all these different like digital billboards and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I could see a world where at some point like a billboard has a camera and says like, oh, it's John that's walking in front of it and he loves this, and it just dynamically changes to like something you're interested in, which is crazy and next level, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get there.
That's kind of terrifying, a bit nightmarish.
It's
Very
scary.
Big Brother
Yeah.
like surveillance.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's
Imagine getting called out by a billboard in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, man, this guy loves Jolly Ranchers.
Right, yeah. I walk in front
of
of it and it's like, have you seen Ozempic before? And I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah, like moisturizer.
Right, yeah. It's funny because like it's funny because it's true. And it's like I when I was going through the airport, there's a woman in front of me. You know when you go through TSA, they take like your picture, right?
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, there was a woman in front of me because you can opt out of it. She was like, I don't want my picture taken, and I respected that. But in the back of my mind, I was looking around. I was like, there's cameras everywhere.
They know you're
right? Like
here.
they know you're
They
here.
know you're
like
here. It's like I used to like turn off location on my iPhone and stuff just because I was like paranoid about it. I'm like, they know how to find me.
Yeah.
They know. These like apps know where I am.
It's wild, dude. It is wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining me today. It's
Thanks
been
for
such a
having
pleasure talking. Good luck with the pitch later.
Thank you so much.
You're looking great.
I appreciate
You're sounding great.
Thanks for having me,
You're
guys.
gonna go out there and do some great work.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to do it for us today, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of Hubspot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clarke. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at thehustledaily. We'll catch you later.